Today, we're going to briefly touch on the reasons corporate earnings have been better lately. First, wages have been declining as a percent of GDP, and though this has been true for decades, it has been especially true in the period from 2008 forward. This phenomenon has attracted a lot of attention, with oceans of ink having been spilled on it. Detractors decry its contribution to rising inequality, and both detractors and defenders attribute most of it to things like outsourcing and automation and hard-nosed staffing and salary management. Clearly, the lower this number is, the more profits are available for owners in the form of dividends, and indeed, dividends have been rising as a percent of GDP since the late 1980s. But again, it has been something that has been especially pronounced in the period after the 2008 crisis. A second, albeit lesser reason that corporate profits have been rising as a percent of GDP, as we touched on last week, is the rise in the government deficit. When the government spends money, it does not disappear. Instead, it largely goes into the checking accounts of households and, to a lesser extent, the checking accounts of businesses. A big component of this rise in the government deficit has been the rise in net social benefits, welfare and the like, as we see when we look at the net social benefits paid as a percent of GDP. The second biggest beneficiary of social benefit programs after the recipients themselves are those businesses that serve low-income constituencies. We can see that here with the rise in those benefits around the same time frame that company profits have improved. When the government spends money on social benefits, some of that stays with businesses serving those constituencies as enhanced profits. The government's too pervasive an actor, and these programs are too large in scope for this not to be true. That's it for this week.